The Tower of Babel. Now the whole world had one language and a common speech. As people moved eastward, they found a plain in Shinar and settled there. They said to each other, "Come, let's make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They used brick instead of stone, and tar for mortar. Then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we will be scattered over the face of the whole earth." And the Lord said, "Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his span of life? And why are you anxious about clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. My name is Absinthium. In this episode, we will talk about the economic collapse of our civilization that will happen shortly before the public action of the Antichrist and the great tribulations of God. In fact, it's already happening now. Our civilization, especially the USA and the EU, is based on the economy of money circulation, constant borrowing, and the power of the artificial fiat currency of the petrodollar, where the main capital is controlled and owned by the most powerful families on this planet. Lord said in Ephesians 2, "As for you, you were dead in your transgressions and sins, in which you used to live when you followed the ways of this world and of the ruler of the kingdom of the air, the Spirit who is now at work in those who are disobedient." Those disobedient are the same families that rule our world. The Lord in John 15:18 also said, "If the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. That is why the world hates you. Remember what I told you. A servant is not greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they will persecute you also." Well, after many decades of exploiting the Western economy through constant inflation and inflating bubbles in various economic sectors, it is time for the prince of this world to shut down the worn-out Western model and move his capital elsewhere, to the east.
They will say that everything is fine, that the current price increases are only temporary. More and more closed shops, inflation will grow faster and faster. Behind the scenes, the most powerful people in the world will be extinguishing the petrodollar by shifting values into XRP, Ripple, and other cryptocurrencies. One of those investors in that particular cryptocurrency will be known as the Antichrist in the future. Well, nothing in the world happens by chance. Suddenly from one, stock market values will fall in free fall. In the same day, all economic bubbles will burst as if they were made of soap. The dollar and the euro will fall into a spiral of hyperinflation where they will become worthless in a short period of time. In a very short time, the once mighty economy will fall like a stone. Most state institutions, services, and banks will stop working. ATMs will become blocked at some point. The money will stop flowing. And on the streets? Well, this kind of chaos will not be seen since the beginning of human history. Most of the citizens in their homes do not have supplies of canned food, water, money, and flashlights. But many of them have weapons. Where do you think they will look for food for themselves and their families? Well, by you, and in supermarket robberies. In Revelation 18 says, "After these things I saw another angel coming down from heaven, having great authority, and the earth was illuminated with his glory. And he cried, mightily with a loud voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become a dwelling place of demons, a prison for every foul spirit, and a cage for every unclean and hated bird." In smaller cities, the chaos will not be on such a scale. People will be more affected by reductions in fuel, electricity, and water. Also, all trading will be stopped, but people there are somehow more resourceful. And what about the faithful servants of our God? They are not up to this world. They faithfully follow the voice of their Lord who persistently repeats it. Revelation 18 verse 4. Then I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, lest you take part in her sins, lest you share in her plagues." Matthew 19:21. Jesus answered, "If you want to be perfect, go, sell your possessions and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come, follow me." Many faithful servants of our God will come out of Babylon in time in search of their Lord. The new life in nature and mountains will certainly not be easy, but it will be exempt from godless chaos and insecurity. We will lack nothing. Our Father feeds us and takes care of us. In the next episode, we continue with the economic collapse and how everything will develop further. God bless you all. Until next time.